I just kind of thought that it looked kind of like a boring design. I think the Mac Mini actually looks a little bit cooler. I do really like the front USB-C ports and the card reader, but overall, like, it doesn't look that great. Now, the chip is amazing. Like, to have that, the M1 Ultra, like, that's incredible. Like the speed that you can get with the two chips, but I would not buy it because it's $4,000 and I'm never going to spend that much money on a computer. So obviously this computer is not for, regular consumers. It's for, studio professionals or just professionals in general. I also think that this chip is like the Max. Like, you could definitely go with the M1 Max if you want to stay at the lower price, which is about $2,000. I think that is a good computer for anyone at a consumer level, but it's still a bit on the high end. And to have a computer without a monitor for $2,000, that's just, I feel like it's a little bit too expensive for most people. But this this Mac is aimed at like studio professionals, and I feel like that it's kind of like the same thing with the iPhone, right? So the iPhone Pro is for pros or professionals, but who buys the iPhone Pro? Like, everybody buys the iPhone Pro. Like, everyone is a pro. So I think they're using this same wording for the studio professionals. So I think that the Mac Studio is really for everyone who can afford it. And I'm sure, like, there's going to be so many people that are going to want to go out and buy it because it is so incredibly fast, including me. Like, I want it just because it's so fast. But am I going to dish out $2,000 for this Mac and then another $1,500 for a monitor? Probably not right now. That's a lot of money. So this new Mac is iMac killer. It's definitely obliterating the iMac. Now, they could come out with an iMac next year, maybe make it 30 inches so it can compete a little bit, or even keep it at 27 inches and have like a smaller processor in it. So maybe have like the M2 chip or the M1 Pro chip, which this computer only has the M1 Max with the Mac Studio. So I think that there still is a place for the iMac, but if you really want something a little bit better than the iMac, I would say go ahead and get the Mac Studio and that external monitor. But I think that they're still going to make an iMac that's going to be in that price range um, that they've been selling people on for so many years. There's so many people that have bought the 27-inch iMac at around $1,500 to $2,000. So I think that that's a price range that they're still going to target consumers. And I feel like if you wait another year, they're going to release that iMac. I really like the Mac Studio because it finally gives us an idea of how far Apple's going to go. So we know, like, with the M1 chips, we have like a really fast chip for pretty much everyone. And then when they came out with the M1 Pro and the M1 Pro Max and now the M1 Ultra, we have a rough idea of a consumer level computer. Now, the Mac Pro hasn't been released, and it's going to be so incredibly fast and so incredibly expensive that I don't even really care about it at this point. I know there's a lot of people that can't wait for it, and I'm happy for them, like all these professionals or engineers or musicians or people that do video editing with 8K or 6K or whatever. Like, that is super exciting for them, but that's not a computer that most people, I think, need to be hyped up for or get excited about. uh, I think that for now, if you want to upgrade, I would definitely say the the Mac Studio is a viable option. For me personally, the M1 chip pretty much meets all my needs. I feel like I really don't need anything that much faster. So the new Studio display is gorgeous. It looks great. I know there's nothing like incredible about it. It doesn't have the mini LEDs, but that, for me, like, that's not huge. Like, I don't care about that or the HDR. I mean, it's probably nice, but I know a lot of people that have the iPad with that, they just kind of resorted back to their previous iPad because they felt like it didn't make a huge difference. So that's not something that I'm sold on. The $1,500, yeah, it's expensive, but it looks great. I've been waiting for so long to have like a nice display, just so I don't need an iMac, so I can plug in my M1 MacBook Air and just be able to use one computer for everything. Yeah, it would have been nice if it was a little bit cheaper, but I understand like they couldn't have made it much cheaper because they already have the LG 5K display that's like, what, $1,200? So I think the price range makes sense. But yeah, it's an awesome monitor. And then like if you need those extra USB ports, you have them. So if you have the MacBook Air or another Mac and you don't have enough USB-C ports, this monitor really makes up for it. So anyway, that is my impressions of the Mac Studio, and I hope you like this and subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one.